look at each other.
Yeah, you reckon?
Yeah.
Well, we'll live
down a bit more. All right. Spurs beat Wolves. Other things happened, like United upsetting Liverpool. Very, very, very surprising. I didn't expect that to happen at all.
No.
And we got a whole bunch of other stuff. It was actually pretty interesting PL round. You had the oil derby as well.
The Middle Eastern rumble in the jungle.
Play that music. I'm already sure there's enough as it is. We're going to need to accentuate it. Spurs versus Wolves. Right? This was, I don't know. It was a bit tepid in the first half.
Very cagey.
But I just feel like these were the kind of games that Spurs were slipping on last season. Right? Like, when it's competition that they're clearly better than, but they're unable to sort of do anything about it, really, or convert any chances. But I don't know, man. It was a really good game, like from like the additions to the team. So your Ben 10 cores, your Perisic's, right?
I don't know why I thought you were gonna stop at Ben 10. Just call them Ben 10.
Ben 10. But like those sort of new guys, they all played really well. Kulusevski, like they all had really stand-up performances. And really, like Harry Kane scored a goal, but he wasn't like a shining star in the game. And Son, had some impacts here and there, but he wasn't like a.
No, he's probably the worst of them all.
Probably, right? Yeah, I mean, they took him off, right?
Yeah, he came off at about the 75th minute with nothing to really, no major real contributions.
No, nothing at all, pretty much. And then, so the fact that those guys can not have the best game, but still the team. I mean, I think they played well. They didn't play badly at all.
No.
And they created a good handful of chances. So like. A Spurs team that can still play well without Harry Kane or Son doing, putting on the best performance, that's a pretty good sign.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think, you're right in saying that they would have probably lost these games before Conte joined last season.
Yep.
And I think it was what undid Nuno as well towards the end of last season, at the start of last season as well, when they had a really bad performance. And I think they ended up losing 1-0 to Wolves at Tottenham Stadium. So, look, I think these are the type of games you need to win in order to be a contending team.
Yeah.
As we've seen with some of the other sides, aka Liverpool, Chelsea, in the top four, teams vying for the top four, they've had some banana skins early. Against teams that they should have probably won.
Yeah.
Which they didn't, or they've been outdone by lesser teams. And I think it's good to see from Spurs, given their notoriety for it, the fact that they were able to, go through the figuring out stage.
Yeah.
When it was really cagey.
Yeah.
And
not blow up.
And not blow up. Yeah. Not there was times where they could have probably conceded at on a counter or something like that. But I think, the fact that they were able to not concede and, make sure that they're still a threat on the other side and manage the game out after they take the lead is a good sign. I mean, nothing to scream and shout about, but it's just good, solid performance. I can't complain. Some players played great. Others were pretty middling. Some wasn't particularly good.
Yeah.
But everyone else did what they needed to do, which is sometimes what you need. Not everyone has to be the best at all times, and sometimes you just have to get them to play their role.
I'm just trying to think, like last season, I mean, when's the last time you really saw them be able to get out a W? Without Son and Kane really, really playing.
Yeah, I always harken back to that game against City, where they won 3-2. Like, it literally took Kane and Son giving them 100% and a goal on either side of the half to drag, and a win at the end as well from Kane. So, but it's good to see, they're able to beat these sides that are compact, well-drilled, like Wolves. Obviously, Wolves don't have much of a threat going forward. But, I mean, they're hard to break down. They look like they were playing some sort of version of a 5-back.
Yeah.
Or a 4-back with two CDMs. But
I think they moved a lot though. Like there was a lot of rotation.
They shuffled around, and even I think Lage, they were talking about before the game, he didn't really have a set formation yet.
Yeah.
Went from 3-4-3, 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, and he looks like he wants to stick to a 4-3-3. Looking at the signings he's made.
Okay.
But it was kind of like a 5 at the back, really.
They're probably one of the most, like, if you were to ask me where they're going to finish at the end of the season, I think they're one of the more confusing teams for me to pick. because I think where their ceiling and their floor are very far apart.
Yeah.
Because they haven't really figured themselves out yet.
Well, they don't have a goal threat. That's the thing. It relies on them keeping goals out and then sinking one on the other side due to a
bit of trickery.
Jimenez,
counter-attack.
Yeah,
because they're a very fast team.
Yeah. They do have pace and they do have good passes in Coutinho and Neves, but they don't transition their play. They're just good passes.
Yeah.
With the signing of what's his name, Mateus.
Yeah, Nunez.
Yeah, Mateus Nunez. I think he'd be a welcome addition in the sense of that they're able to progress the ball forward. And it looked like he was comfortable playing in the role he was asked to as well for Wolves, where it was kind of like that. More progressor, which is something they needed. But look, time will tell how they'll figure. I still think they need a striker.
Yeah,
they've got Guedes. They've got Guedes. They signed. He's not really a 9, not really a winger.
He's got goals in him.
He's got goals in him, but
he's not a number 9.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be the big goal threat that they want. I think he's a good supplementary piece to a goal threat, not the goal threat.
I feel like they look at the fact that they've got Jimenez and that Korean guy.
Wang Hee-chan?
Yeah, I think they look at that and they go, probably neither one of them is pure Premier League starting quality right now, right? But I think they think that together as a rotation, they probably
if we get 5 goals each, that's 15 goals in the season, and we'll be all right.
Yeah, I feel like it's something like that.
I feel like Wang Hee-chan's also made a class, I feel, because he's always got niggling injuries after a streak of games as well. So depends on how he pulls up. But look, they're not an overall sign, and I kind of agree with your sentiments. Where do they finish? When you look at them on paper, they look like pretty smack bang average.
Right in the middle.
Outside of their bench is pretty poor. There's no one there. But the 11 is, of a passable quality.
I think it'll come down to when they hit streaks of form.
Yeah, how long exactly. I think that's what did them last year as well. That helped them because they had a really good streak where Sal's on fire, clean sheets. Yeah. They did score a couple of goals, about a goal a game, and that kind of took them along. Yeah. And put some wind in their sails. But then after, when that stopped, it kind of faltered and they fell down a little bit.
It's funny because I still feel like they haven't figured anything out really. There's it's been 3 games and I don't really have a good read on them in any sense. Really,
I don't think they have a good read on themselves. To be honest, Grant, look at the chop and changing, and then going from a 5-back to a 4-3-3 to a 4-2-3-1 from last season. New signings on old players leaving Cody, stuff like that. Adama coming back.
No real consistent number 9.
No. Yeah, there's no finishing product, and they're like a poor man's Chelsea.
Yeah.
Just without the pizzazz.
Yeah, less money.
Yeah.
Leicester versus Southampton.
Oh. Rogers.
Yeah, this was a big banana skin, I feel like. What do you reckon?
I just thought, Leicester looked the same as they did in the first 2 games.
Yeah, they did.
At least this time they had a goal to, protect. Madison scores a worldy free kick, or Wish, what's his name? Wish Grealish. Wish Grealish. He bags a great free kick. And he actually looked pretty inspired, to be fair. Maybe he's playing for a move to Newcastle. I don't know. But
it's not a bad fight.
Fofana gets dropped out of the squad.
Yeah.
Who else was the one away from? I think Tielemans was on the bench.
Oh, okay.
Didn't start.
Yeah. I didn't really notice that.
And then apparently rumors after the game that there's a bit of strife amongst the board. And some split decisions on how many want to fire him, how many want to keep him on. All I know is they need to figure out who wants to play for them.
Yeah.
What to do with Fofana and how to use his funds if you do sell him, which you should, because you'll be stupid enough not to take that money.
I'm curious which route they go. I'm curious if they go the route of let's give Rodgers a new budget and let's go again, or are they just gonna eat the cost of getting rid of Rodgers and hope that
Well, the thing is, I think it's a lose-lose, right? Because if you sack Rodgers, right, and you give him all right, he's a war chest. Love that. And I think that's one of my favorite footballisms.
War chest.
War chest. Yeah, I think it started from when Arsenal.
Pandemic.
No, it was back when Arsenal had when there was still coming back from when they built Emirates, and every season. You'd be like, Arsenal have a $200 million war chest for Wenger. And just kept reporting. I swear to God.
It was spend that shit?
Barely, because they never let him. They're like,
That's why I was
nah,
watching.
not yet. Nah, we still need to pay the concreters for the stadium.
That's
But
fine.
it's been 2 years since it was built. No. A couple of dollars left, bro. Don't worry.
Like they dicked him with that stadium because
God.
he took like not a pay cut, but like he stayed on.
Well, the thing is, they promised him, it's like, yeah, with this stadium, we'll be able to compete. You know, it's a bigger stadium or revenue, rah, rah, rah. In fact, it was completely the opposite.
Yeah.
It was built during the wrong time. Well, they couldn't predict that the global finance crisis would happen, but like, unlucky. And then he was in for that exact reason that they said, yeah, you're going to have more money. He actually didn't and lost all his best players. And then in the meantime, City come on, blah, blah, blah. Tangent aside. Even if they give him a war chest, right?
Yeah.
Do you trust him to make wise signings? No. And then on top of that, I want to move the screen. But yeah, like, do you trust him to make those signings?
Yeah.
Do you trust him to use the funds from Fofana sale?
Yeah. Probably not, man.
No, you wouldn't. And then like you sell Fofana, right? Who just re-signed for signed a 5-year extension last year, or 4-year extension. What does that show to your players? You can just sign a contract extension. A big club comes around, whispers sweet nothings in your ear.
Later.
See you later. Like, do contracts not mean anything? Like, we just saw Kevin Durant, to change sports for a second. Kevin Durant, I want to leave. I don't like it here anymore. Yeah, like, GM says, hey, bro, you still have 4 years left and no one wants your fucking ass. So you stay here. It's like, okay. Yeah, so it's like, what do you do? And then if you sell it, like, let's say you keep, you get rid of Fofana and you get rid of Rodgers. Well, then what do you do then? You get a new coach. It's like, all right, you've got 75 million plus whatever revenue generated and whatever extra funds you have.
Yeah.
What do you do then? You're going to give a brand new manager the keys to an old squad and without its best centre back? Like, it'd be like a kid in a candy store. Just have a sugar rush and
that's what I'm saying. Like they've got like they've got a decision to make. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it's two very distinct pathways of give current manager more budget, kick him out, bring someone else in that's going to make a more ideological change in how the team plays. Because the thing is that the question is okay, if you keep Rodgers, you're gonna, even if he gets the players he wants or whatever, they're gonna play more Rodgers football. Really, we saw an FA Cup, but like, is that enough proof to say this works?
Yeah,
perennially, like for however long he's here with money, he can make it work like that. I don't know. It's an FA Cup. It's not really indicative of.
Yeah, and they didn't win that, did they?
Yeah, they won the FA Cup.
I thought City won it
last season. Last season it was City, but like the season.
Oh, maybe the season.
With Rodgers, they've won it.
Yeah.
Because they got the son of the owner out.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's what I'm saying. Like the only real proof while he's there, is that FA Cup.
The thing is,
I don't know if it's enough. Plus, it was like, was that the COVID season?
Yeah, I think it was after Project Restart.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, regardless of that, right? Do you trust him to get the ship back on course?
That's not enough. I would say no.
Because he's had just as many good seasons as he's now probably had bad.
Yeah,
well, he bottled fourth.
Yeah.
That, like, all right, you can kind of, that's unlucky. Then last season drops out of the sixth completely.
Yeah.
He's finished like 8th or 9th, right?
Yeah.
So then you go, well, 2 really good seasons, 2 subpar seasons. One subpar, 1 really bad season.
Yeah.
Do you trust him?
No.
Like, can you trust him to rebuild? Can you trust him to stay on correct course? I think you can't.
No.
Because no one wants to play for him. Like, it looks like dead man walking. The squad's just there.
That's what I was going to say next. They're the type of team where they're always going to have these, like, they're never going to have like that 28-year-old guy in his prime that they bought from another big club. Like, that's not going to happen. It's always going to be guys that they get either from their academy or in that sort of 20-year-old age bracket that grow and develop into a player. So I feel like you should bring someone who's more akin to that sort of role, a more developmental type coach, right? Someone with more of a strong, who would have been good, and Eric Ten Hag, something like that. You know what I mean? Like that sort of option where it's like, this guy is going to come, he's going to instill an identity in the team, right? Because then the players will have something else to stay for besides the success of the club. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because then every time that they're in this sort of position where they're maybe going to finish out of the top 4, top 5, top 6, they're going to be more towards that 10, 15 area, everyone's going to be looking towards the door. You want someone that's, okay, I want to play for him because Leicester play like this. I want to play under that coach. I know that there's not a whole lot of those guys out there.
No one at the moment.
I think if you search hard enough, you could probably find some of them.
Poch? Would you hire Poch?
I would, but like I don't think Poch would want to go.
I mean, you could pay him enough.
Could you?
I reckon you could.
I don't know if he would.
I mean, they're fucking paying Rodgers the 5th highest salary in the league.
Yeah, that's true.
You reckon someone comes? What's his name? The owner comes knocking.
Yeah.
Hey,
That would
you want
be
the 5th highest salary in the Prem?
Yeah.
All right.
The thing about Poch is that then you kind of run into the same thing as with Rodgers.
Yeah, I know. That's what
It's
I mean.
like, how close is he going to get you? Probably not that. But the thing is that he kind of does sort. Like, I'm sure that if Poch came in, that you'd be much more likely to hold on to people like Madison, like Fafana, like all those.
Maybe, or just irritate them.
Depends. But you know, he's better with younger players than he is with older.
Maybe, but I feel like it's select younger players. Like he was the same guy that Nabil Bentaleb was like one of the Golden Boy nominee, and then just cast him out of the club.
Well, he wasn't exactly wrong with him.
Yeah, no, he wasn't exactly wrong, but there wasn't really direct reason to do so. Yeah, and then Dele Alli, he gets the best out of him. Now look at him, he's at Besiktas.
Yeah, that's hot.
Besiktas.
Anyways, all right, moving on. Fulham versus Brentford.
Saucy little London derby number 5.
This was a good game.
It was really good. 2-0 early for Fulham.
Yeah.
Quick goals. Comical first goal, really. Just a series of unfortunate events, really. I think the funniest part was bouncing off, watching the goalkeeper watch the ball. He's like, well, I hope this goes over. It just bounces off the crossbar. And then Bobby Cordova, he just hammers it against him. He kind of just flippantly nicks it and then goes up to the roof of it. It just looked like a Benny Hill sketch rather than a football game. But they take an early lead, concede to, I think, to be fair, Tony should have had his first goal.
Yeah.
That shouldn't have been offside. Because that's like B's dick we're talking. Like, we can't. If that's offside, then fuck.
Yeah.
Like, show me by which blade of grass is offside. At that point,
I thought they had the. Oh, that's the World Cup where they have the chip in the ball.
No, that might be the World Cup.
Apparently, it did well in its only appearance that it's had so far. I think they use it as some.
1 out of 1, 100%.
But. Yeah, I feel like those sort of things where it's like, that close.
Just give them benefit of the doubt. That's what the Euro used to be. No one complained before.
Nah.
It's just when we missed obvious offsides or obvious handballs. That's when we complained. But nevertheless, good goal. Shame was offside. Second one, a bit more clear cut. That one.
Second one was when he did the celebration, right? He did the.
Yeah, when he was running off. Yeah.
Copy.
Yeah. And then speaking of that, I mean, a little move over Nunes and Haaland. We've got Mitro and Tony, ex-teammates.
This is apparently they're frenemies. That's the sort of
that makes sense.
Makes sense because they would have been competing for a spot at one point, right?
Well, to be fair, I mean, Mitro's stint at Newcastle's good for 1 season, maybe 2.
Yeah.
Tony was already out of the club or on loan at that point, so
right,
maybe. But I assume they did probably have some competing. Moments.
But no, I thought look, he mocked him a little bit and then it bit him in the ass because Mitro scored the winner.
Yeah, so all's well ends well, really.
Yeah.
The circle of life.
Mitro was one of the guys where I liked him I like having him in the league because he's a personality.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think so far 3 games he's been fucking.
Did you see that thing where Tom Kearney broke his window? He kicked the ball and he hit his car at training and smashed his window. And he's just lying on his bonnet, takes a selfie with it. Like, thanks, Tom.
It's funny.
Yeah. Like he wasn't upset at all. I think,
to
be fair, I think Mitrovic has not to call him, I think he's got like some sort of a mental disorder. Like, I feel like, no, generally.
He's on the spectrum?
Yeah, I generally think so. Because he has these weird moments where he's like super funny, but also like super serious and angry. Like, it's like he has.
He's bipolar.
He could be bipolar, like bipolar, Asperger's, one of those ones. Because I feel like he's very quiet and like almost like eerily, like almost like a stalkerish, quiet demeanor.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's just a lad, takes a piss, very fan friendly, and then like he's just one of those guys like when you watch mob movies and it's like there's always that one guy that's like ha very funny, but also like could gut you like a fish.
Yeah, that's it. He does seem like that kind of thing.
I feel like there's 2 sides to him.
All right. Gunners versus Bournemouth.
Good on the Gunners. Man. Still going, chugging along.
Yeah.
Saliba.
Bro, what a fucking hit.
That's a good chant. I'll give it to him. Yeah. Nice one, Gunners.
Gunners. They chanted it from when he scored until the end of the game, apparently. Which is a bit overkill.
I think they might have had a bit too much tequila.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But look, it's just crazy for him to go from scoring an own goal last week to just an absolute belter this week. God bless him.
Nice one.
they started well.
Mm.
I don't know. Arteta seems like he likes this group. You know, they seem like they've
Aubameyang's on his back.
Yeah, exactly. They seem like they've bought in a whole lot more. I don't know, man. Like, to me, they're obviously looking way better than Chelsea at this point.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Fuck.
So, like, if the battle for fourth is between them and Chelsea at the moment,
No, Arsenal look better, for sure.
they look way better.
For sure. They actually have a functioning forward attack.
Yep.
They actually have goal threat.
Yeah.
Where they lack is probably in defense. Probably I would, if I wanted to pick a defense to keep a clean sheet, I'd probably pick Chelsea's.
Yeah.
And they have the better keeper, even though Mendy, gave up a.
But look, from what we've seen up until now, you wouldn't say that.
No, very solid. I think that probably the
solid.
worst defensive game they had, just looking by the eye, was the one against Leicester, because they conceded very quickly after scoring.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Sorry, vice versa. Yeah. They conceded. Yes, they did score quickly, but it felt like they took the lead, then lost it, then took it. Yeah. So it doesn't bode well. And Ben White, I'm still not fully sold on, but I think he's okay. Like, it could be worse. It could be a lot worse.
I don't know if he's gonna really be anywhere.
That's the thing with price tag, isn't it?
Yeah, but I just don't think he's gonna. Like, he's not. You don't want to use a makeshift right back the whole season.
Well, the thing is he playing like a proper right back, or is he playing like Reece James right back?
Yeah, he doesn't go up.
He's kind of like a third centre back type.
Yeah,
of thing. It's weird.
I don't know I don't think he's good enough for that.
I think he's pretty good. Like, in that sense, I prefer to see him as like a right back that turns into a right centre back.
Yeah. Than
fully fledged centre back, him and Gabriel, him and Saliba. I trust him more out there.
Yeah.
Because then at least with some of his athleticism, he first of all he covers a small part of the pitch.
Yeah.
And two, just enough pace and just enough skill to catch up to someone.
I just feel like
block across and play. And his biggest asset, sorry to cut you off, is the switch ball he can play, or the long diagonal he plays. I think he's really good at that.
That's true. But I just feel like if you get someone that's like a proper competent fullback, you'd rather play that because of how solid and competent your actual centre back pairing can be.
Yeah.
With Saliba and what's his name? The other Gabriel
Magalhaes.
Yeah. I just feel like you're better off giving them the kind of left back and right back they need, rather than trying to make this weird from 3 to 4 shifting on attack.
The thing is, but Tomiyasu's made a glass, and I don't think he's still fit yet.
Yeah.
Teeny, same problem.
Yeah.
They what was the name of that Portuguese fella that played on the left side? He's
Cedric.
No, not Cedric. Oh fuck, Cedric's probably the worst player on the squad. I don't know how he still earns a Premier League paycheck. Barely passable. The Portuguese fella that played Nuno Tavares. Nuno Tavares.
Didn't they get rid of him?
Yeah, he's on loan at Marseille.
Okay, yeah.
He's not there, so
that's weird that they didn't keep him, because that would have been a good option. But
I think he needed more time because he wasn't going to play as a wing back.
Oh, okay.
Because he played as a wing back in his first game for Marseille, scored a goal. Normally, one of the shots that flies into Rosette actually went in.
Interesting, but no, I just think, if you want to get the most out of your squad, and you've got 2 centre backs like they've got, you want to play like a proper system that suits them, rather than like, I'm going to also cram this other guy in because you paid a lot for him. And he actually does deserve to be in the starting lineup. I get that. But it's just like, you're not making the most use of his team. You know what I mean?
I don't know. So far, I think this is the best use, the best of his team. Because Tomiyasu unproven like this season, like he hasn't had a chance to go. You know what? Needs to go this far. Needs to go full back. Tierney not fit enough, but also can play as a left-sided centre back as well. Undersized, but he's got the skill to do so. Yeah, it's probably the best the team can do now.
I guess. Leeds versus Chelsea, 3-0.
Ted Lasso, get him on. Get him on.
Absolutely lose his nut for the first.
Love it. I
enjoyed himself. Huh?
Honestly, I didn't think much of Jesse Marsch. Yeah. To be fair, I painted him in his failures at Leipzig.
Yeah,
having probably the second, third best team in Germany.
Yeah.
And then kind of falter the way he did, and then watch Dominic Tedesco, who's fired by Schalke, and kind of on the outcasts.
Do well with them.
Yeah, do well with them.
Yeah.
I thought, this is going to be a big...
And I thought he was a bit of a fraud, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know what he was going to do.
I've never seen, I don't know if I've just not realised, but I haven't seen of a case of a head coach bowing out of a squad because he's like, I'm not the guy. and not in the sense of like, you know, there's backroom politics or
Yeah.
just like purely being like, this challenge is too great
Yeah.
for me, goodbye.
Yeah.
Like that was crazy to me.
Yeah, and
So-
look, it takes a lot for a man to admit that,
100%.
which is a part, which is
It's admirable, but I was like, damn, how do you get over that? You know what I mean? Like,
To be fair-
what do you do to?
Yeah. To be fair, he was part of the Red Bull conglomerate of clubs, so
Or feel comfortable to do it?
yeah, you could probably. To be fair, like when you go from New York Red Bulls to Salzburg, like your natural step is either going to Leipzig as a assistant or manager or head coach.
Yeah.
That's your natural. So he's like, well, perfect timing. You know, Nagelsmann's gone. Hassan Huddle's at Southampton, so you can't use him.
Yeah.
Rangnick isn't here. Or he's director of football. He's not going to coach. So they kind of looked at him and kind of went, well, you know, let's give it a crack. I'm familiar. I know what to do. I know what they want me to do.
Yeah.
But turns out he just, as much as you can hang out in a system and learn and, you know, soak it up, it's just not. It takes time to actually, and takes, you know, players to buy into what you're selling. And if you're not buying it, then
but like I just
looks night and day between Leeds and Leipzig.
Yeah, no, 100%. But it's just like, you know, the players would have bought into the system before they got there because they play that way anyways. You know,
but maybe how he brought it, carried his message across.
100%. No, I understand, but like it's just like.
Sorry, I do not understand your American accent so much.
But I just find it strange, like he found it too challenging. And it's like exactly what you said. It's like the natural stepping stone from his last job. It's the kind of atmosphere, like the kind of play style he likes, the kind of squad he likes, you know, all those sort of like, I don't know, comfort things that a coach seeks he had. So I was like, how is he?
Maybe because it was so familiar to him, it was just uncomfortable. Like he put too much pressure on himself to succeed.
Because he's like, I have to be good.
Yeah, it's like there's no reason for me to fail.
I've got every comfort. Yeah. But, you know, anyways.
But to be fair, he's done great with Leeds.
No, he's done terrific.
Like he's literally brought Rodrigo back from the dead. Yeah. Scoring goals for fun. Yeah. Aronson, the new signing, looks great. Yeah. Youngster, full of energy. You know, he's got the likes of Tyler Adams, who I really like as well. Whew. Great CDM. Yep. 3 lungs. Yep. Runs around a lot. He's managed
to make a great pickup.
Yeah.
It does bother me though.
Oh, here we go.
Because they made it's like, okay, they're better. Yes, they're better.
Yeah.
It's 100% kudos to Jesse Marsh. But what do you expect when they finally bring in a couple of quality players?
Here's the thing, they have to sell their best player to get the funds for that. But also, and I had that same thought. I was watching the game and I'm like, well, if Bielsa got this funding and got these players, he would have been so safe. But then I think there's probably a good chance that Bielsa had a short list of players. And they looked at it and like, I'm not buying some 31-year-old center defensive mid from Defensia and Justicia from the fucking Argentine Premier League just because he fits your ethos, Bielsa. That's a shit investment. So I'm sure there was players he wanted, but economically and, you know, club-wise, would it be the smartest decision?
Probably not.
Probably not.
But I think like they would have sold Rafinha, so they would have had the Rafinha money, right? He was the guy that brought in Rafinha, so I feel like his recruitment is actually pretty good. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I feel like the big gamble would have been if you keep Bielsa, do they stay up? Do they? Because last season it was kind of cagey.
It looked pretty dicey,
right?
Pretty poor.
So we're saying all this, but if they keep Bielsa and they go down into Div 2, then it's all for nothing, anyways.
Yeah, right? It all goes to shit.
So I understand it's like hindsight 2020. There's no way to control the variable so much that it's like, oh, okay. Go back in time, give it to Bielsa. We stay in Premier League, bring all these cool signings in for it, everything's hunky-dory. Because it could be he stays, they go down, they sell Rafinha at a discount because they're relegated, and you know they make less money, and everyone else is worse off.
Yeah.
So look, he's doing well. The team's bought in, but at the way I see it is like they should be better because they've invested more in their squad.
100%.
You know?
But one thing I will credit Ted Lasso.
Set pieces.
Set pieces, but also the defense remains largely the same. Same centre backs. Left back is I can't know who the left back is because I know Firpo's injured. I forgot. I think it was Struik playing on the left.
I don't know.
But or maybe on the right and Ailing on the doesn't matter. You cannot figure out. You couldn't tell me that that's the same 4 guys that played last season. Better. It looks much better. I think it's because the way Jesse Marsh explained it, it's like we don't rush to the ball anymore. we look to surround the
There's
ball.
no man marking.
Yeah, we surround the ball rather than the man.
Yeah.
And it's not about running; it's about pressing at the right time.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that has to do with less exposure of the centre backs and the defenders
100%.
in the DM.
They look considerably less haphazard.
Yeah.
Right. And also set pieces. I mean, night and day. Did they even score any? Like I don't remember them scoring many at the Bielsa.
Yeah, and they conceded a fuck ton of set pieces.
And in these 3 games alone, they
look
dangerous all the time.
Yeah, they look watertight, which is a good thing. So I mean, all's well at Leeds, and a very big humbling for Chelsea, I think.
Oh yeah,
because Koulibaly, as soon as he got that first yellow card, he's getting sent off in the 90th for some stupid second yellow. That's like out of frustration.
Yeah.
Happened. Mendy, just get rid of it. Like I don't know what you're fuffing about. Get rid of it. And I think overall, as good as they looked against Spurs, I think they're not a good team unless they have to, what do you call it? Be put against the wall.
Yeah. Okay.
When the other team opens up for them, because Chelsea, they have nothing going forward.
No, they don't.
And when they're getting pressed, there doesn't seem to be any sort of player that can go out the press play.
I was going to say, so they're not press resistant. I'll be honest, they're missing Kante, like consistent Kante.
For sure.
Wow, like they're really missing that. So there's that. There's no press resistant midfielders, right? Also, even if there was a press resistant midfielder, who they're getting up to, they're really struggling
score
with.
The fucking goal?
Because Havertz is in this weird place at the moment where he's the main creative force, but he's also the guy they need at the end of the chain.
He's practically throwing himself a Hail Mary every time and running down the pitch.
Exactly, he's doing the old Nelson Muntz. So I'm like, I don't know, man. Like they just look.
It looked like a mess.
Yeah.
Because even you look at their recruitment. Okay, Koulibaly, good signing, I'd say. Little on the older side, but again, he's got pedigree, experience, all that. Great. Sterling, look, you bought him at his word. Like he's played some of his highest minutes in the season across all competition, lowest return.
Yeah.
Now, whether that's down to consistency of minutes and how many games he started versus how many minutes he played, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
All being said, he had a lot of minutes, plus 2,300 plus minutes in all competition. Still had his lowest output.
And
buying a depreciating stock,
using him in weird spots.
Yeah, kind of like striker, outside, and then
so you get a guy who's struggling for consistency.
Yeah,
and then you're like, hey, let's change it up.
Yeah, and I think also the thing is as well, they got rid of their 2 strikers, their problem strikers, Werner and Lukaku, on loan and sold. Who's there now?
No.
Brozier doesn't start. Just give Brozier a run.
Also weird.
Give fucking Brozier a run. He's the only guy that looks like a striker.
Also,
that can play striker.
I like how he's like, I love this idea of playing a striker, and a guy to score goals and a creative in behind him. But why do it with Sterling and Havertz when you have Havertz and you can do that with Brozier? Well, Brozier is the number 9.
He must not like Brozier's attitude or something.
It has to be, right?
Behind
it has to be.
Because I know Brozier's, there's rumors of him being arrogant.
They're desperate for
Bro, he's the only striker on their books. The only
And if I'm Brozier, I'm like, if this coach is staying around for a while, I want out. Because if you're not going to play when we don't have a striker, then
when am I going to play?
When am I going to play? Yeah, exactly.
Well, there's actually only one player left in the squad.
Or you have to win a Ballon d'Or without touching the field first, then I'll put you on.
No, I think it'd be the type of scenario where it's like, all right, the rest of our 11, the 10 players out of our 11 are all dead.
Yeah.
And there's only one person that can play. And it's just Tommy Tuchel soon enough. It's like, I haven't done this in a while. Brozier's just sitting there.
You be my backup. That's fun. But it's like a whole nother. It's like a Donny van de Beek twist.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
All right, United versus Liverpool.
The big kahuna.
You got it here. Didn't see this one coming.
No chance. I actually got blasted. In one of my fantasy chats. Like, I was like, oh, you should captain Salah.
Yeah.
As a second choice, if you don't want to go Haaland.
Yeah.
Because obviously Salah, United.
Yeah.
Should be goals at least 2 goals for Salah. And then I was like, oh, yeah, they might get a draw. I just feel something. I'm like, are you smoking crack? Bro, this team has looked abysmal. Brentford made them look like a fucking League One side.
Yeah.
And then they do this.
They do.
It's like they just want to shit on me.
What a change without Maguire. You know what's crazy,
it's not even close.
Like,
not even close.
Even if you just looked at the individual plays that Varane did, you wouldn't be like, "Fuck, look at this guy."
World class.
Yeah, you would be like, "This is why they need him." It's just more the fact that everyone around him doesn't have to be like, "Is he gonna do something crazy?" No, all right. Because that's the issue with him. Maguire on. He's a bull in a china shop.
Yeah.
He's the only. Like, I'm just thinking of all the great centre backs in history that were captains of their team. He's like the only one I can think of who was the opposite of a calming presence. You know what I mean? Like every other Puyol, Ramos, Cannavaro, you just go through the Rolodex of Rio Ferdinand, all these guys. Their whole job was to be like, I got your back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'll stand at the front and fight for you.
I'll be the last thing that they have to go through before there's a goal.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Look at what he does. He doesn't. He completely destroys any sort of confidence or comfort that a team
or any
have.
backline organization.
Exactly, it's all gone, right? He doesn't trust his team, and immediately, like they don't trust him. So Varane comes into the team. Yeah, he's competent. He looks good. Everything that came through him looked nice. But I think more than anything, it gives everyone peace of mind. And Martinez looked a lot more comfortable, right? There's that stat of him not losing any aerial duels yet, which is absolutely garbage. We saw him lose one against fucking what's it called?
Look, bro,
that's an aerial duel. He tripped. He lost then.
Bro, the narrative
he
around
was able to compete even in that area.
Bro, the narrative around Martinez is I literally stopped reading Martinez bits and pieces on Reddit and stuff just because I'm like, I can't stand this narrative. He's too short to be in the Prem. Or no, actually he wins a lot of headers. Look at this highlight clip. It's like, shut the fuck
and
up.
Like, yeah, but look, Puyol.
Yeah, Puyol. It's like, bro, Puyol, which one is it? Is he too short or is he, a heading gutter we haven't seen since Ronaldo in his prime? Like, which one is it? Pick one. Because I can't stand this. Like, I don't care if the guy's 5'3". We had fucking Cordoba play for Inter Milan at 5'7", centre back, right back, whatever you want. He played it. Still had a long and successful career. Who's to say this kid doesn't succeed at 5'9"? Puyol was barely 5'10", listed at 5'10", 5'9" on a good day.
I think the issue is like
he went to play in England.
No, they're just if he went to Liverpool, right? You'd be like, fuck, you got this speedster covering Van Dijk. Amazing combination. Terrific. They're probably in a much better place.
Konate and Martinez as a back three.
Yeah, ridiculous. Like, put him into any of the successful teams in the world, and you probably think the same thing. Put him in Barcelona, put him in fucking Real Madrid, any of these teams, you'd be like, oh, what an addition to the team. I think it's because Man United at such chaos at the moment. That's like, why do you want to bring someone in that's another spanner in the works? You just want to bring someone in that I'm going to get this guy, I'm going to put him in, he's going to do exactly what I want. That's it,
no surprises.
Nothing. He's undersized, we're going to overcome that now. Like, fucking, he's a great goalkeeper, but he's got one arm. Like, fucking, like, you don't want that. You don't want that.
We get a lot of saves, only one arm.
When you're in this sort of situation with a club, you just want to bring guys in. You're going to give them a job, and they're going to do that job. You don't want to bring in... Because, look, they brought in Ronaldo, chaos, right? They bring in a new coach, Ralph Rangnick, chaos, right? Everything they bring in immediately goes into the news headlines. So you just want to grab someone who's just like... His name's John Citizen, right?
Prototypical centre-back.
He's 6'1", right? Like, he's everything that you expect from a centre-back, Maybe he's not the greatest player, doesn't have a lot of upside, but... he's going to do his job. I think that's kind of what you expected the signing to be. And when you go and get, to be honest, the way I was kind of seeing it, it felt like they've gotten no real bites from any of their transfer targets. Because then it's like, look who they get. Martinez, right? Who else did they get? Ericsson
and
Casemiro, right?
Casemiro is probably the first bite they've had.
Yeah, but also like they're doubling his paycheck. He's
won
everything.
He's 30. He wants a new. Like, it's the money thing.
Real Madrid has like 3 of the best young talent centre mids.
Yeah, literally, it's like, all right, well, Camavinga or
Modric is ageless apparently.
Yeah, apparently, it's like, well, just
they're in a good spot.
Move them across.
The main challenge of Barca in the season is clearly not as good as them yet. So like they've got time to develop what they
can for
do.
Sure.
So it was perfect. It was like a nice little sweet spot for them. But then they've got Martinez and they've got Ericsson
and Malacia.
And was Malacia at Ajax as well?
No, he was at the other one.
Well, where the fuck he was?
PSV.
PSV.
I think it was it PSV or AZ, one of them.
Either way,
Sorry.
you've got a guy from
Or Feyenoord.
more perennial talent, like he's
Yeah.
upcoming, right? Perspective. You have a guy that was just perfect scenario where it's like you can double his paycheck and his team is willing to let him go, right?
And world class.
And then you've got the other guy, Martinez, who's ex-player, Ajax, right? And then you've also gone for Frankie de Jong, which is also ex-Ajax, right? And now their final last transfer target is Anthony, another Ajax player. So it's like they're not able to get the attention of any of their transfer market targets.
Only Anthony's kicking up a stink, but it's like, well,
But again,
someone doubling, tripling your paycheck.
Yeah, but it's another ex-player.
Yeah. But the thing is, the ex-player, fair enough. But you think you'd have some sort of leeway in negotiation? Yeah. Like Ten Hag could go, hey, bro, like it's a big jump up from like Ajax to United. Yeah. Like he gets paid so much. Yeah. You guys get the money. I know you guys will reinvest into some, Mexican guy for $500,000, and then he's selling for 35 the next year. Like, cut me a little bit of there. 85 million for nothing. Million. 85 million for Anthony's a lot of fucking money. Unproven, really.
Yeah.
Like he's had a good couple of Champions League games and absolutely fair enough, great player.
Yeah.
But for 85 million.
I just also don't think even if he hits.
But where do you even play?
That's what I'm saying.
His right side is Sancho.
He's not the kind of player they need. Like they've got one. They've got Sancho.
Yeah.
He's literally just a different kind of that sort of player.
Yeah. Unless they want to put him on the other side and invert them. Or play Rashford up front.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just don't know whether they go with the signing.
That's what I'm saying. It's the same thing as the Martinez signing, where it's like in isolation, not bad. I like that. He's a good player, right? You need good players in your team. Fair enough. But then you look, it's like but you should be able to make more sensible decisions. There's gonna be 2 or 3 players for Anthony's price tag that they can get. That would legitimately bolster the squad rather than we need competition for Rashford, like for Sancho. Like it's there's other things to fix.
You could probably sign a right back.
Maybe how about sign 2 or 3 more centre mids, right? So you don't have to play Fred McTominay at all.
Yeah.
How about that? Instead of we've got Casemiro, but he's fucking 30. We still need to work him into the rotation.
Yeah, we need to split time between.
I tell you what, I wonder what it's gonna look like when we have Casemiro with Fred and McTominay.
I don't think they play together.
No, but like 1 or 2 of the 3.
Yeah,
2 of the 3 have to play together or something.
Well, Fred will probably be the first one because I think him and unless McTominay and Casemiro, 2 deep anchors, no one gets through.
Yeah,
and just lateral passes it. But I think the best combo would be Casemiro and Eriksen.
Yeah,
because Eriksen progressive, can get out of a tight space. Yeah. Casemiro does the dirty work, a bit like Modric and Casemiro.
Yeah, 100%. I can see that.
Between like the McFred combo, it'd probably be him and Fred. I think would be the first choice, and then McTominay because McTominay can't dribble, can't pass. It's just a turnstile.
I feel like it's I don't know. For me, this may be a flash in the pan type performance.
You think they can't do it again?
I don't know. Like it was.
So
I'm not really sure. It's not so. Yes, it is unexpected, obviously. But at the same time, like I look at Liverpool, and
this is probably the worst Liverpool midfield we've had in a long time.
Probably
since Project Restart.
Yeah, they look terrible
because they're literally decimated.
Yeah,
they're playing people out of position.
Yeah.
Henderson's looking old finally.
Yeah, he is.
And I think that's because he's probably playing a lot more in the middle.
Yeah,
Fabinho's not fit. Keita's injured.
Yeah.
Ox is injured.
Yeah.
Thiago's injured.
Yep.
Curtis is injured.
Yep.
Your centre back partner in Kanate is out injured.
Yeah.
Trent looks a bit
rusty. Well, the thing is, right? He isn't the best defender, obviously, right? But the thing is that they normally dominate the ball so much that he doesn't have to defend that whole.
No,
right?
100%.
But when they do struggle to keep the ball, he has to defend a
they
lot
target
more.
him.
Yeah. And if he has to, instead of defending 10 challenges, he has to defend 30, then you're going to notice that more often, right?
Not only that, it's not that the challenge is not making or is making, He's just not in position to defend.
No.
He really isn't. He's halfway up the pitch in no man's land, and you can't blame the bloke. That's what he's been doing.
And that's another issue, right? He's not a great defender, but because of the midfield not being as good, one, they don't keep possession, therefore more chances, blah, blah, that whole thing again. But also, because the midfield isn't that creative, he needs to go further up the field to help the offense.
Yeah.
Putting him further out of position, again highlighting his poor defense. So it's like, now is not. That's why I don't go too hard on Trent. I'm not going too hard on him right now because I feel like he's the kind of player that if the team isn't solid around him, you notice his weaknesses a lot more.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
he's not an all-round, well-rounded right back. You know what I mean? Like, for example, Dani Alves and Marcelo, super attacking. But if you needed them to keep a lead, they could keep a lead.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas Trent, if he's unable to provide you with offense,
What is he doing?
Yeah, he's gonna just look like a liability, which I think is unfair to him because the midfield is so poor at the moment that you're asking other players to have to contribute in other ways.
Yeah.
Right?
He's never had to contribute on the defensive side. He was, either they win the ball back early so he doesn't get caught out in his position, or, he's such a threat on the attack.
And they're not winning the ball back early.
No, not with this midfield.
At all. There's no running in there.
No. Besides Harvey, but Harvey's an attacking midfielder. He's not, and he's still young. He's 19.
Harvey's someone he's not, when you watch him press, it's not good.
No, it's not a smart press. It's just
he runs a lot, but he doesn't do a lot of good
It's a waste of energy.
And I feel like Milner, he's obviously he's very like he still retains a lot of fitness and he's very in shape, right? But I'm noticing his mobility is not very good.
No, his joints are dusted.
His left to right is not very good.
No, he's really
straight
slow.
Line, he'll track you down. He'll catch up with.
That's why he can still play left back.
Yeah, exactly. Up and down, he's all right. But man, I was noticing that in the midfield when he make the initial press, there was no sort of tilting one way or the other. So you've got Hendo that's not particularly athletic to begin with. Milner, who as fit as he is, his mobility starting to go. Then you got Harvey, who's not a good presser. Yeah. So and they're just in the dumps at the moment.
A lot of issues.
Alrighty, West Ham versus Brighton.
Brighton looked clinical.
Yep.
They did what they needed to do. They scored on the counter. They bagged 2, but I think the biggest takeaway is West Ham still suck.
Still fucking goalless.
3 games without a goal.
Yep.
3 games without a win. Rock bottom now. 5 goals conceded. Not a lot of goals. I wouldn't say they got thumped.
Yeah. No.
It's not like they're 0-4-9 against.
Yeah.
But if you're keeping your big multi-million-dollar striker on the bench, what's the point of it?
Yeah, no, I don't know what's going on.
And I think they just look discombobulated. Like Souček looks poor, Kufar looks poor. Normally these guys weren't the ones that poor.
Bro, they were rock solid.
They just look poor. I think they still kind of look tired.
I was gonna say,
and Zuma doesn't look good either.
If you look at how their squad that they've been putting out, not a whole lot of rotation.
No, I think pretty much besides maybe Ben Rama, that's kind of more of a new face, but other than that, not many. Like Antonio's still up front for some reason. Yeah. And then Declan.
I think those legs are looking heavy, and then people like Declan are looking. I don't say he's looking at the door like "get me out of here," but like there's other clubs. Clubs. He knows that. I don't think he's gonna get. I don't know if his perception is this way, but I at least don't think he's gonna win anything more with West Ham. Like if I was to say if the next successes he has in his career, it's more likely going to be with whatever.
100%. And the thing is as well, he's got a World Cup coming up. The guy's going to be on the plane to Qatar. He's thinking probably, how do I get to the World Cup and ball out, and then make it a move that West Ham cannot resist. Like they have to get rid of him.
But yeah, very sad.
It's sad. I think because Kamaka played in the cup and scored his goal, right?
Just put him on.
Like I don't understand this old wives' tale of he has to bet in. Yeah. How do you bet? What's the best way to break something in? Right. What's the best way to break in a shoe? By wearing it. You're not going to look at it, leave it there, jog around the house for 5 minutes. Oh yeah, that's enough for today. I'll break it in more tomorrow. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to throw him in,
especially when it's a striker and you're not scoring goals.
And exactly. And then a young striker at that, a big, tall presence up front with the footwork of a fucking ballerina.
Yeah. It is lame tuning into West Ham games to see him play and the bloke goes on for 10-15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's fucking lame.
It sucks.
But on the other hand of things, nice to see Brighton consistently scoring goals. Yeah. Are they going to be like a little baby city where it's like, they need a striker,
I'm giving that one up.
They just need a striker, right?
They just need someone to score. But they keep signing these strikers, right? They signed Undav, right?
Yeah.
One of the top scorers in the Belgian league, outside of the big Belgian clubs. Yeah. Still sitting on the bench. Welbeck's still got him. He's still got his number.
Now it's hard because they're scoring goals and winning games.
Yeah, but what are you signing him for? As a big club, splash 15 million, and then you've got Mopai sitting there. Yeah. Like, okay, he's very hot and cold. Yeah. But get rid of him. reinvest the money. I can't back Brighton anymore. Like, I'm just like, look, you look nice on paper. It's like a pretty girl. You look very nice on the outside, but you have no fucking, what do you call it, personality.
I don't know. I still like them as like a top 10 team, comfortably. I think playing how they're playing, but I think that they're just not going to make a.
They just don't have the longevity.
Not without a proper goal scoring number 9 forward.
Dragging them across.
Yeah. All right. Crystal Palace versus Aston Villa. Is Stevie G on the hot seat?
I'm all aboard the Vieira Express,
bro. Pat
Ball is back.
I tell you what, boldness is the best bet for fucking football. I tell you what,
the less hair on your head, the better.
Every bald football coach turns out to be a fucking G. Man, we haven't been seeing you guys talking. We're covering Champions League predictions. No, we haven't talked about no Champions League predictions, actually.
No,
when's draw?
To the Thursday. I think they said Thursday, but European time. So later tonight.
When the draw's out, maybe we'll do it.
Yeah, we're sure.
We'll do a little.
We're sure, because then we'll have something to talk about.
Exactly. We'll do it on the socials. Who the fuck knows? What was my point here? Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, bold people make the best coaches.
Yeah, 100%.
As we've seen clearly with Vieira now stepping into
Vieira, ETH.
Yeah.
The big bald himself.
Guardiola. Yeah. And if you get out of the league, Zinedine Zidane.
Yeah.
Sampaoli.
Yeah.
Some fucking good ones.
Yeah. But there's also a lot of good coaches with good mops. Conte.
Okay, hold on.
Ancelotti.
How many didn't go to Turkey?
Ancelotti.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. Who else has got a nice mop? Klopp. Klopp's got a nice mop.
Actually, I've never seen his hair with that hat.
Tommy Tuchel. He's still got hair.
Tommy Tuchel doesn't have a good set of hair. Have you seen Tommy Tuchel's hair?
Look, it's there. It's not. It's balding, but it's not bald.
See, that's why he's not doing that well.
Yeah.
If
he had it fully
commits,
Turkey.
if he fully commits and just goes clean shaven. Although Tommy Tuchel with clean shaven head going off his head.
Scary. I reckon he's got a secret vein that pops like at the side of his head like this. Any anger?
Looking very good. Got him playing sharp. Willie Zaha on a streak. You love to see it, bro.
We've seen this one play out before.
Yeah,
can't wait for him to stutter once all the attack just goes towards him.
The thing is, right, is now that they've got a team, they've got a system. It's in a place now where sort of like what Alan Saint-Maximin is experiencing at Newcastle. They play well. Like he doesn't have to touch the ball every fucking play. You know what I mean? Yeah. And now he gets the ball in isolation. He gets to actually go 1v1 versus the fullback. You know what I mean? Plays to his strength. So there's that. I think he's very confident under Vieira.
Maybe. Yeah.
It looks like it. He's going to be taking the pens. Like it's I don't know. I just feel like
maybe just Vieira's just
it's a perfect fit between Vieira and Zaha. Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I feel like Vieira is just tickling the balls of Zaha just enough to make him feel happy.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think he's just saying the right things for him because I feel like Zaha's one of those guys where you have to constantly reassure him and give him what he wants to get the best out of him. Yeah, and fair enough. This is the first time in a long time where he's actually had this season is when he's actually had a proper. A squad around him. So
100%, not just a proper squad around him, but playing well, right? What do you reckon about Stevie G? Is he going to be in the job for a few more months? What do you think?
It's going to look rough. I think he's got till at least January. He saves till January, unless he completely gets annihilated.
Losing streak.
Well, no, I think if he loses 3-0 again, if he pulls a Tommy Tuchel and loses 3-0 against Leeds and looks like the same they did, then I think there's going to be club meetings.
Because if you look at the team, I think they made good investments. They've got
they're all right.
They've got good signings.
For a club like Villa, it's
they should be doing better than Brighton on paper.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
At least in terms of performance.
For sure.
Results wise, you never know. You can get dicked here or there.
Dele Alli is balding. That's why he's going to Besiktas. You know what?
He's balding. He had fucking dreadlocks.
It could be extensions. That's a thing now.
I didn't know that was a thing.
But you're right. The hairline at the front was crazy. So,
damn. Everton versus Nottingham Forest.
Matt, you can just watch the last 10 minutes of this game. That's enough. You don't need to see anymore. That's probably the most interesting part.
So I tell you what, Fat Frank, Stevie G, they're on a race to get fired.
I feel like Fat Frank's the furthest away from getting fined because he walked into the dumpster.
Furthest away from everyone in the league, or you mean furthest away out of those two?
Out of those two, but I don't think he's probably like, if I had a top 5 list, he'd be maybe number 5.
I think it depends because I think.
But he's already in the dump. He walked into the dumpster.
Yeah,
fire, you know what I mean?
I get it. But I feel like if they get into a spot where they're maybe going to get relegated, you don't want him being the guy at the wheel again.
No, of course. But the thing is, like,
shake it up.
Yeah, it's 3 seasons.
I don't think it's so much he's going to be such a bad coach they want to fire him.
No,
I think it's the team is going to perform poorly enough where they need to change something, and they're not going to buy 10 players, so they're just going to change the coach. That's what I feel like it's going to be.
Maybe.
I don't think it'll be a deserving sacking. I think it's going to be like, bro, we're going to do something.
New manager.
Yeah.
New manager.
Need that bump. We need to do what we got with you.
Yeah.
So maybe Stevie G and Frank Lampard could just switch places. Like the back third of the season, they'll each get a manager.
It's pretty shit. You want to try it? Yeah, all right.
Let's swap around.
It's like a loan trade, like a manager loan.
But look. One thing I just wanted to point out, I don't see a whole lot from these guys yet in terms of what they want as coaches. Like even when Arsenal was performing bad under Arteta, you still knew what he was trying to do with the team. I don't know what the fuck these guys are doing. Like I don't know what's Stevie G football, what's Frank Lampard football.
Overlapping fullbacks, leaving your. Now Stevie G's send your fullbacks up.
Yeah.
Play narrow and then get countered.
That's important.
That's the third part's the most important part, especially if you're
going to get countered. If you don't concede, what's the point?
If you don't throw everything forward and leave your wide areas exposed, then how are you playing Stevie G football?
That's not
Stevie G shout out to Forest as well.
Yeah.
19 signing. See, I want to clear something up. Everyone's going, why is Forest signing so many players? How are they doing it?
Yeah.
First of all, they let go 15 players.
Yeah.
Coming into the season.
Yeah.
So they had a bare thread squad as it is.
Yeah.
So then they get PL money.
Yeah.
And then they go, well, fuck it. Let's go make some signings, bolster this squad. And to be fair, if they walked into the Prem with the same squad they had last season, like by keeping
right
the 15, right back down.
Yeah.
It's what Norwich did.
Yeah.
Now, even when Norwich signed a few players, they still sucked and got relegated. This guy, the Greek heroin magnate, allegedly, has decided to go, you know what? I'm going to throw everything at this. And if it doesn't work out, I'll be able to sell these guys on. Yeah. A lot of them are below 25. I can just move them on, loan them out, or take them to the league below if they suck that bad and no one wants to play and no one wants to buy them, and I can just go back up. I don't think it's such an evil or bad thing to do.
No.
And like you look at the signings, besides maybe Lingard and Freuler, but Freuler's like more of a veteran signing, and they didn't overpay for him. So it's like, how could you be
they're making like I think the last one to potentially come across the line is Hussam Awar.
Yeah, Hussam Awar.
That's a fucking nice pickup if they get him, bro.
Yeah, look, if it works out, that's one of those ones that's like, how come he didn't end up at one of the bigger clubs?
It's because he's not good enough. Like he's not. But for them,
terrific. Adds what they need in the midfield.
I feel like a guy like that. He's like I don't want to put him in the Delta Rap category just yet, obviously. But I feel like a player like that, when for some reason the big clubs are sniffing around but they never pick him up. I feel like when eventually, like if years go by and then a big club does pick him up, like a Ziyech at Chelsea, they get found out. But when they go to a smaller club where the pressure is less, right? They're asked to be, play a role, right? Just give us the talents that you got. We don't want to step out of that. I think that's a better situation for them.
Yeah.
So I think this may be good for him, but they made some good signings. They've invested well.
Yeah, I don't think it's like
Scott Parker's the coach, right?
Yeah. No, it's
Scott Parker's Fulham.
No, he's the Bournemouth coach.
Bournemouth coach?
Yeah, Scott Parker's Bournemouth and Fulham's Marco Silva.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
They just switched chairs between the championship. It's Ned Schneebly. I don't know his name.
I don't know. Fucking.
He's what do you call it? He's Ned a Welsh fella. He looks like Ned Schneebly from the School of Rock.
All right. Fuck. I have to look that up. I didn't know that.
Scott or Steve? I think his name is Steve.
Parker is, for some reason, the whole time I was thinking he was fucking Nottingham Forest coach. All right. Well, anyways, Newcastle versus City. What a game!
Lovely game. Great game. Great free kicks.
Finished 3-3. Fucking hearty performance from Newcastle.
Like a winter soup.
Like, I feel like they pressed City well to begin with. They went down a goal, and they continued to press, right? Continued to play very attacking football. Took a 3-1 lead, right? Let City back in the game, which you'd think that's a mark, like the bad mark on them. But when you look at the fact that they let City back in the game with 25 minutes left to go and were able to hold that and keep a point, I think that's a positive actually more than anything to stop that momentum and keep you ahead. Fucking crowds behind them when the stadium, apparently great atmosphere in that stadium.
Yeah, for sure. St. James Park was rocking.
You look at the team that they've got, very balanced, right? Create a lot of chances, seemingly more cool signings coming in that could bolster that even more. When you look at their midfield, you look at areas like Joe Willock, for example, you go, that's where I would like to probably invest some money and upgrade, that sort of thing. The defensive line as well, left back, right back, that sort of thing. But if you really, boil them down to their skill sets, they're compatible, you know what I mean? Like Joelinton, Guimaraes, and Joe Willock. Joe Willock, obviously not as good as the other two, but what he does is perfect to supplement the other two. So, man, for me, they're probably one of the teams that will most likely be maybe the biggest surprise of where they finish.
I think, I said it from the start, and I think they'll probably finish in that top 8, top 10 spot.
Yeah, that'll be great.
I think they've got the squad to do it. They've got the coach to do it.
Yeah.
And they look like the real deal.
When he came in, I thought it wasn't a good pick. Eddie Howe.
Yeah, to be fair, like he came in at a weird time. Like the Saudis had just come in, couldn't really revamp the squad. It was still a lot of the old faces. To be fair, the second half of the season they were really good.
Yeah,
so I think it just took a long time for them for him to go. All right, January's come around. Let me pick a couple of players that I can sign now.
Yeah.
And bolster like Guimaraes and Chris Wood. Obviously, he didn't play that well in the score, but get guys on board like what's his name, Byrne as well. Yeah, Kieran Trippier was a huge signing as well. Massive. So I think he just took him time to kind of get a couple better players and lift the overall talent of the squad. Yeah, and then once now he gets a few more players in, and gets a few players back from injury. Yeah. And finds the best out of his existing players like Alan St. Max, Almiron, stuff like that. Then you go, this makes sense now. Yeah, this is why they, you can peg them at as good as they can be. Yeah. Now, Alan St. Maximin, amazing performance. Gucci man. He gave Kyle Walker fits, and he's probably one of the better defensive fullbacks. Really, if you look through all of even City last season when he was out for a consistent period of time towards the last third of the season, they struggled to be good defensively. He was a big part of that. You wouldn't go out there and say he's a all-round great defender, but you compare him to all the other fullbacks in the Premier League, he's in the top 5, top 10 defenders just because of his physicality and he's fast and all that sort of stuff. But Alan St. Maximin gave him fits. He played well, created chances, Joe Ellington played really, really good. Nick Pope played really well. I think that was one at the start of the season. I don't know if it was on the pod, but we said that it was strange because, I know you've got a lot of money now, club Newcastle, but keeper was pretty good. Why did you have to go get Nick Pope? Oh, fuck, he looked terrific. Well, I think the thing was Dubravka has an error in him. He's okay, but he's not he's not aspirational. He's not the next one. Exactly. But you look at the Newcastle team at the time of the purchase, and you go, good to them. There's other places you can upgrade. I would upgrade other places first, then get to the goalkeeper because Dubravka was never the reason for a loss. And he has mistakes in him and stuff like that. But no, man, he's good. Also, the thing with Dubravka is he is a very traditionalist type goalkeeper. Good shot stopper. He's not a big, he's not a sweepy keeper. No, not like Nick Pope is. Not like Nick Pope is, but he's more akin to it than Dubravka is. Yeah, 100%. But good performance from them. Then on the other side of things, I think City, they played really well, obviously, to begin the game. I think they were a little surprised in the resilience of Newcastle that they continued to, we've scored and we still have to deal with this press. We still have to do it. It was the whole game. And I think they were a little bit shaken by that, collected themselves, and that's why they scored 2 quick goals. Exactly. Pushed through eventually. Haaland played well. Yeah, I think it's funnily enough, it's 3-3 draw. Both teams came out of it looking pretty good, I think. I think we would make more of it if Liverpool had started better this season. Yeah. If they had 3 wins, for example, we'd be like, City slipping up. But because,
they've got a comfortable lead now.
Mm.
I think you can look at this and go, it's actually pretty positive.
Well, not only that, but I think the fact that they fought back.
Yes.
And they actually showed some sort of initiative to get back into the game and then didn't drop the game any further is what kind of separates them. But yeah, to be fair, you're right. I think both sides can have their heads held high after these games.
100%.
After this game, sorry.
But anyways, I think that's pretty much all we've got for today. Thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. You gotta play the outro music, my friend.
Don't forget, subscribe to our channel on Spotify and listen to the pod there.
And Instagram. At LastGoalWinsPod _ at LastGoalWinsPodcast on Twitter. And there was a couple other ones, but you get it.